Hello world, my name is Gianmarco Molke, and today we're going to cover the WrestleMania 36 Part 1 results. First matchup, Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Now, I don't have a lot to say about this match. It was one of my least favorites, but it's not like I hated it. It was fine. I was happy to see all four of these women get a spot on the card. That made me happy on its own. The results I was pleased with too. I love Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross together. I love Alexa Bliss as a babyface, being besties with Nikki Cross. And I felt like they were the right people to walk away with the championships at WrestleMania. Made sense. Because I used to be a fan of Kabuki Warriors. I really used to be a fan of them when they first turned heel. And then they didn't do anything with it, really. They just because there wasn't really a women's tag team division for them to fight or to torture. They just fought Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and that was it. And then Asuka was a singles wrestler for a while, and Kairi Sane was just kind of there. The past few weeks, they didn't even use Kairi Sane on television, which really pissed me off. So yeah, by the time we got to this match, I was so ready to see them drop the titles because it's time for them to split up. It's time for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to lead the women's tag team division and to see Asuka and Kairi Sane go their separate ways. I think Kairi Sane works better as a babyface, and Asuka, she can do whatever the heck she wants. I love Asuka. She can just, she could be the first. She can move to SmackDown. I don't know right now because I'll get to why I don't know what to do with Asuka right now later, very soon actually. But happy for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Good for them. Second match, King Corbin versus Elias. I actually enjoyed this match more than I thought I would. I know some people probably might not think much of it. I thought it was cool that at least the road agents tried to come up with a good match for these two. And, Elias winning was weird. I'm not a huge fan of Elias right now. I liked him better when he was a heel, or at least his first face run was way more entertaining. This one, he's just kind of annoying. So I was actually rooting for King Corbin to win, but I respected the grit that Elias showed in this match and how he was really going for retribution for what King Corbin did to him a few weeks ago, where he pushed him off the balcony. The sound effect sounded fake as fuck, but oh well. Elias rolled him up. It's fine. I don't care too much, but it just seems a little. I guess my biggest problem with this match is that King Corbin has been losing a lot since he won King of the Ring, and no one's really noticed. I don't think anyone's really noticed. No one's really cared. It just seems weird. He just gets dominated by Roman Reigns in 2020 and then loses to Elias at Mania. Elias didn't really need the win. He's not really someone I want to see pushed right now. Okay, King Corbin is someone who I think has more potential for feuds going forward, but who is he going to fight now? Anyways, the third match tonight, probably my biggest problem with WrestleMania so far, because it really got in the way of what I had planned for Asuka. I really wanted Shayna Baszler to beat Becky Lynch and win the Raw Women's title. I wanted Baszler to become the new face of the Raw Women's division so that the man could just get off TV for a while. I'm getting tired of the man, getting tired of Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. I used to be the biggest fan of her. Now I'm not. I had this plan where it's like, oh yeah, and then Asuka should be the first person to fight Shayna Baszler for the next few months, while Becky Lynch is taking time off. But obviously that can't happen anymore. And I love Asuka, but I can't get that. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch was an alright match. Up to that point, it had been match of the night, but it just kind of ended with a wet fart, It just didn't seem right. It seemed really anticlimactic. Felt like they had a lot more in them. They could have kept on going. So I'd say the only good thing about Becky getting the win is that I see more potential in this rivalry to keep on going. I hope Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir debut night after WrestleMania and just form a faction with Baszler. And maybe Ronda Rousey comes back too. Probably won't happen, but that would be cool. I want to see Shayna Baszler demand a rematch against Becky Lynch. I want her to admit that she got beat, but that Becky rolled her up and that she had her. I want Shayna to say, I had you, though. I fucking had you. And I think next time we get in the ring together, I will not make the same mistake. So I hope Shayna does that, because Shayna deserves to be Raw Women's Champion, I think. Becky winning was more like the boring choice. You know, I'm really getting tired of the man. She seems way too chilled out now, and like nothing can really phase her. You know, that's why I was actually a fan of Shayna biting her a couple months ago, because I was like, wow, someone humble the man, please. Because, like, gosh, she just keeps on knocking down everyone. She's like the final boss of the women's division. But I'm getting tired of her. She's overpowered now. You know, someone needs to go humble her. Anyways, fourth match, Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Up to this point, this was the most fun match for me. Like, I was into it, you know, because I love Sami Zayn. I love him as the great liberator. His mic skills are, you know, top tier right now. Daniel Bryan, favorite wrestler. One of my favorite wrestlers. He's probably the favorite. But even though he's my favorite, I still was, like, kind of glad that Sami Zayn won. I was like, oh no, Daniel, no. Go, Sami. Yeah, that's what I wanted to happen. Yeah, because, like, Sami had just won it, and it was his first title reign, and I've been waiting so long to see Sami Zayn win a championship, a main roster title. It finally happened, and I didn't want it to end so soon. Everyone was like, oh, he's just going to drop it to Daniel. I was like, come on. Sami deserves this, even though he's kind of out of shape and he hasn't thrown any classics out there in the past year or so, maybe 2 years or so. He still, you know, worked hard. Even when he stopped putting in classic matches, he worked hard on the mic. He became one of the top superstars on the mic, and I love his new gimmick, and I love that he retained the title. I think they could keep going with this rivalry, and maybe Daniel Bryan could get a better match out of Sami in their rematch if they go again. But Daniel didn't need this Mania win. Daniel has had a great career. He's done enough. I'm happy and satisfied with what he's done. Doesn't mean I want him to retire. I don't want him to retire. He can still put out classics, but he doesn't need any more big wins. He's fine. This match was fun. It was funny seeing him run around and put Shinsuke and Cesaro as walls in front of Daniel. I could see Daniel getting irritated, and I was like, yes, this makes sense for his character. Makes sense that Sami would just use his two heavies to, like, get into Daniel Bryan's way, and Drew Gulak took them out for a bit. The haluva kick in midair was weird, creative, but weird. I felt like Sami Zayn could have done one more haluva kick in the corner and then pinned him, but, you know, well, you know, woohoo Sami. I'm a huge fan of the Artist Collective, and I'd like to see more of them in the future. I think they have a lot more left in them and could last well into 2020 past this point. Please don't split them up, WWE. Please don't. All right? One of the few factions I love right now. Fifth match, Morrison versus Kingston versus Jimmy Uso in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That was probably match of the night. In my opinion, that was match of the night. I felt like it'd be really weird when they announced it. I was like, oh, just a straight up triple threat with a representative from... I was skeptical, but it was really fun. I respected the effort. A lot of good spots in there. The Spanish Fly from Morrison to Kofi Kingston was one of my favorites. Jimmy Uso hitting him with a splash after that. That was fun, you know. I was really nervous for Jimmy Uso when he got injured at the beginning of the match and, like, he clutched his knee. I got really nervous. I was like, they just... Come on. But no, this match was fun. The right person won. The finish was a little weird. I don't hate it. It's just like, they really didn't want to make anyone look weak here, so they had all of them involved in the finish. But if anything, it also just kind of makes the New Day and the Usos look dumb. Like, their rivalry is, like, kind of getting in the way of either of them succeeding now, which could be an interesting storyline heading forward. But, the right man won. It was just a weird finish, just them both looking at each other. The banter between Kofi and Jimmy was hella funny. Just like Kofi going, "I gotta take you out," and then Jimmy Uso said he flattened him like a pancake. That was funny. That was okay. Maybe that was the most entertaining match too. Man, back to back entertaining matches for me. I loved both those. Um, the sixth match, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. Um, that one, like, it got the most emotion out of me, I think. That's wait, no, that's not true. But like when Seth hit him with the bell at the beginning, it pissed me off because I was like, "Oh, great, this is how they're gonna end it." But then they restarted it, and I was like, "Okay, these guys can keep going," because it seemed like Seth and Kevin Owens were actually having a good match, and they were actually having a pretty good match. Good in-ring psychology with like Seth talking to him the whole time and shouting at him. Um, I loved the spot of Kevin Owens jumping off the WrestleMania sign. I think that could be a meme right there for like years to come. Please get to that soon, guys. Someone make a meme of that. That was hilarious and great, and one of my favorite falls. The right man won, so that was good. Don't know what's going to happen to Seth Rollins going forward, but I loved his robe. I was like, there you go. This is total delusional right here. Dressing like a priest or like, that was a fun match too. Seventh match, Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. I never felt more tense and nervous for a wrestling match before. Like, this is the most tense and nervous I felt in a long time because I love Braun Strowman. He's another one of my favorites next to Daniel Bryan. Even though a lot of people say he's been buried, and yeah, he has kind of been buried, and he just lost the Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. I was so nervous for him. My brother was like, he's gonna get buried. I was like, no, please, no, don't bury Braun. And oh, I was shocked that he actually won. I was shocked that they put Braun over Goldberg. I thought that Braun would have hit him with like a third running power slam, and then Goldberg would have kicked out, hit him with another spear, boom, over. But no, they actually gave it to Braun. I like jumped out of my bed. I was like, what? They actually did it. They made Braun the Universal Champion. And I did this whole roar thing with him. I was like, roar. I did that. It was fun. I mean, the match sucked, but it was fun to see someone who I had been admired and like looked up to for so long finally get their big moment that I know he'd been waiting for so long. He had so many opportunities for the Universal title, and he got screwed so many times. This has been a long time coming. Very happy for Braun. Don't know what this means for storylines going forward on SmackDown, but I'd say maybe his first challenger is Sheamus, because we haven't seen Sheamus in a while, and he just kind of disappeared. Wasn't even mentioned around WrestleMania season. Sheamus is Braun Strowman, I guess. Makes sense. It's fine. I'm just happy that Braun's champion, and I hope it doesn't last too short, even though that's what a lot of people are saying. I really hope it doesn't last too short. I was so happy that he got the title from Goldberg. I hated Goldberg winning that title. I hated it so much. I hated seeing him with it. Goldberg, to me, in my eyes, became the biggest heel in the business when he took that Universal title, and he got a spot on the WrestleMania card. So I was so happy to see someone else who was one of my favorites, but who was also most likely going to be left out of WrestleMania altogether, Braun Strowman. I was happy to see him take the title from that part-timing asshole, Goldberg. I'm not a Goldberg fan. This is Enzo. This isn't Goldberg. Last match tonight, Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. It felt like the end of a movie. The movie being WrestleMania. But part 2 is coming out tomorrow, so that's cool. It was really interesting. It felt like a horror movie too. I loved that the American Badass came out. It sucked that they came out to this weird new song. That's how he came out. I don't even remember how the song went. I just know I hated it. I hated that it wasn't Dead Man Walking or Rollin', Rollin', Rollin'. Hated that. I think that was a missed opportunity right there. Um, I wasn't a huge fan of the Boneyard match going into Mania. The idea of it, because it was like, oh, what? But Styles can do flippy flippy and he fly around his phenomenal forearm to Undertaker, you know? Do the calf crusher. He didn't do calf crusher. He didn't do the phenomenal forearm. I cannot imagine him doing the Styles Clash to Taker. But you know, other than that, it was fun to watch. It was interesting to see Taker throw Luke Gallows off the roof of a farm and tombstone Carl Anderson on top of that farm. That was nice. The light show that happened after he beat AJ Styles is a little much, but it is Taker, so it's fine just seeing his symbol be projected onto the farm. I felt sad watching him get beat up by Styles and seeing Styles call him an old man. I was like, no, don't do this to Taker. Come on, he's got to win. The right man won. It just sucks to see that Styles hasn't won a big match in a while. But Taker did need to win this one. He doesn't need to lose more than twice at Mania, and I'm not sure if Styles is like, because I love AJ Styles, but I'm not sure if he's one of those guys to be in the small list of people who have beaten Taker at Mania. So there's that. Hopefully Styles rebounds after this. I feel like this Boneyard match was meant to write him off TV for a while. And if so, I'm going to miss AJ Styles. He's probably the best guy on the Raw roster, but it's fine. It's cool. I sort of felt like Taker was going to pass the torch on to him when he was saying, no, I'm not going to bury you. You fought hard. You fought good. You gave it your all. And I was like, yeah, he keeps saying that. He's really praising AJ Styles. But yeah, Taker gets it. Taker gets that this guy is he's the man right now. Sorry, Becky. Styles is the man. And then he kicked him down and buried him. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff in that match. I highly recommend you watch it if you didn't see it. Might not be your slice of pie. Maybe it is. And yeah, WrestleMania 36 Part 1 was pretty fun. I liked it. But I feel like WrestleMania 36 Part 2 is where the really good shit is at, you know? But who knows? I think they'll top it. They'll top Part 1 tomorrow, but we shall see. Goodbye, y'all. Hope you enjoyed WrestleMania 36 Part 1.